you go. So I am very excited about this Zoom. Also, this is our last Freedom Series Zoom that Chelsea, Mandy, and I had done for the 6-week period. But we all talked about it, and we're going to keep doing Monday night trainings for y'all. Just rename them Motivational Mondays. So they will be different topics. I've gotten a lot of good feedback from my team. I know Chelsea and Mandy both have also. So that's not to say there won't ever be a week where like all three of us are on here, because obviously we all have lives and things that we do outside of this business as well. But the plan is to keep them going, and the three of us to keep leading them and just having a lot of conversations with you guys and like fun tips and stuff that we bring in. Because I know today is about retention and duplication. However, I learned a really fun story tip on how to get people to reach out to you. And I've only been doing it for 3 days, and I've already gotten 7 people to reach out to me from it, which like I don't usually get reach outs from my story. So, oh wait, my kid's not outside. I was like, some kid's crying. It's not mine. You know, you're a mom win. Chelsea's laughing because she knows. There's not been a time when some kid cries and you're like, oh wait, mine's inside. Why am I looking at my yard? But anyways, so it's a really cool story tip that I learned. I'm going to share at the end of my little section. And then also, I was reading this book today. It's called Present Over Perfect. It's not a business book. It's more of, I thought it was like a parenting book. It's actually just more about living your life peacefully, I guess, and like the art of rest. And so I wanted to share to start out, because the first little page that I read, she's telling a story about how a friend was supposed to come over and she had planned it like 2 weeks in advance. And then the day came and she wasn't feeling good. Her house was a disaster. She didn't have time to cook food. And she like wanted to cancel. And she said she didn't. When the friend came over, like she reheated up some leftovers, had some like comfy, I call them clean pajamas, but like lounge clothes, I guess. For me, it's clean pajamas. Like I'll put like shorts on, like right now I have shorts on and tank top on. And she said it was one of like the best, most relaxing, like fun times and conversations they had, because it wasn't about showing up perfectly. It was about showing up and being present. So, which is why the book is called Present Over Perfect. And I feel like sometimes we need to do that with our teams. I remember when I first started doing like Zooms and stuff, I would make sure like my hair and makeup was done, and I would cancel Zooms, or I would just not schedule them if I didn't have time to like be looking real good. And the same with like going live on my Facebook page. What's up, kiddo?
She just offering me this. Can I have it?
You can. It was my kid. Apparently her dad let her go to the neighbor's house. They offered her a piece of candy and she ran all the way over here to ask me if she was allowed to eat it. So yes, you are. A Jolly Rancher. She's like, I don't know what this is. Yeah, okay. It's a Jolly Rancher. But anyways, so used to, like, I wouldn't go live on my Facebook page. I wouldn't do any of that stuff unless I was like, in my mind, just looking real good. Y'all, now I show up with like 3-day-old crusty hair. Sometimes haven't even showered if it's like in the morning and I'm doing a coffee video, because that's how people relate to you. They want you to show up and be present with them, not to be perfect. And that's the same way with our teams. Like, we need to show up and have those real conversations with our team, and not everything always looking perfect. When I'm having a rough day or a rough week, I tell my team. Now, not in a negative way, like I'm discouraging my downline, so to speak, but I purposely don't give them the illusion that this business is all rainbows and butterflies, because it's not for any of us. I just watched a training with Stephanie and Joel Dunn and Brooke somebody. I don't remember her last name. The one that lost 100 pounds. Like, she's real skinny now. She's like a cute little, I think she's Spanish. I don't know. Spanish girl. She's been in the business for a while. But she was talking about how in either June or July, I think it was July, the last 9 days of the month, she enrolled 8 customers. And the first, 21 days, 22 days of the month, she'd only enrolled 1. And she was just sharing how, like, it doesn't matter how long you've been in business. Sometimes you just have months that are wonky like that. And how many times, Savannah knows, because she's on the work Zooms, but the work Zooms are where I really show up and I'm like real with everybody, because that's where we can all just like talk. That I've said, like, I'm having either a bad month or a bad moment. And I guess not bad, but just the enrollments aren't where I want them to be. The energy isn't where I want it to be. And then you turn around and you change it, and you're showing your team that you can change it. And then the other thing that she said is you don't have to damage your body and your soul and the people you love most in order to get done what you think you have to get done. You don't have to live like this. And she's just talking about taking time to rest, which I know Chelsea preaches. She's at the beach all the dang time. I preach. I'm at the beach all the dang time. I know Mandy preaches. I don't know if she's actually at the beach. I know she's talking about going, but she has her self-care stuff that she does all the time. The three of us tell you guys all the time, like, you have to have days off and moments off. Like, I have been sitting out here in my backyard. Let me switch my camera and just show you like how freaking, just kidding. I don't know if I know how to switch my camera because I'm super smart. Yeah, I don't think I do. I'm just gonna turn it around. Oh wait, it says switch camera right there. Y'all, you do not have to be smart to be a leader in this business. Like all it is I just have a really naturey backyard. I come out here every single day. Well, typically it's 5 days a week, I guess. For 2 to 3 hours, and this is where I journal and this is where I read, and it just like fills my cup and it makes me feel peaceful and very restful, and like I'm not burning the candle at both ends. Which one of the things we're going to teach you guys today is retention and duplication, because if you're constantly feel like you're starting from square one every single month, and again, I'm not saying you're not going to have months that are lower than others and that everything's going to always be up. But if you feel like every 3 months, every single one of your customers are quitting, that's probably something that you are not doing to be a good customer service agent for them. So a couple things I want to talk about when it comes to retention and duplication. First, I'm going to start with distributors. And part of being able to retain your team, if you're wanting to build a team, is leading from the front. And we hear that a lot. But I know if you're like me, when I would hear that, I was like, I don't really know what that means. Like, I'm enrolling and I'm shouting out my enrollments. Like, I don't really know what else I'm supposed to do. So a couple things that I would suggest doing if you are looking to move into leadership into this business. And when I say that, if you're enrolling any distributors, you are a leader in the business. So you need to show up as a leader. That's not to say you have to do everything I'm going to list off. But in other words, like, don't overwhelm yourself. If you've got 1 or 2 distributors, you would need to do this less than if you have 20, 30, 40 distributors. Make sense? So when you enroll someone, take screenshots, put it in the team chat. If you're on my team, if you're a Mandy and Chelsea, whatever, like, I don't know if it's a team chat or what that you guys use, and walk through, just send a couple voice messages. Hey, just enrolled a customer from post to post, story, cold messaging, whatever you did. This is the conversation I went through. So you're showing your new distributors how to do it without getting on a one-on-one chat with them. Like, hey, this is what you need to do. Some people learn amazingly one-on-one. Other people are going to kind of ghost you and not respond back to you, but they're watching you in a team chat or a team page. So just because you're like, well, that person's not working, you don't know. That just might be they're not catching it on very fast and they're ashamed to tell you that because they feel stupid. But by watching you in a team chat and them, you not knowing that they're the ones that you're talking to, eventually they'll show up and they start enrolling. I've had that happen more than one time. And then lo and behold, 6 months, a year later, they tell me, oh, well, it just wasn't clicking and I felt dumb, but I kept watching the chat until it clicked. The other thing is shout outs. Guys, I don't care if you're a new distributor, took 2 weeks to finish the first training. Shout them out that they finished that first training. If it took them 6 months to enroll their customer, shout it out. If they sent 5 messages and you sent 50 today, shout them out. Go into the team page. Just say, you don't even have to put their picture. You say, shout out to so-and-so. She just sent 5 messages. Way to go to get out of your, way to go getting out of your comfort zone. Another thing is sharing info on the team page. I know Tina Anderson is really good with this. She is constantly sharing videos or slides or anything that she's learning from. I actually found out our websites were down from Tina before I even read my email, because she put in the team chat as soon as she realized, like, hey, just screenshotted this from the Road to VIP page. The things are down. This is why. And so just being helpful and being informative to the team, again, is going to show your new team that you are a leader, that you are staying plugged in, and then it encourages them to do the same thing. And then number 4, and this is the last one for retaining distributors, honestly, is always be learning. Guys, it's hard to share information It's hard to share promos if you don't ever get on the family call, or at least listen to the replay. Y'all know I tell you most of the time I don't get on the family call. I listen to it on Monday morning because I'm typically in bed by 8:30 on Sunday and I'm up at like 4 on Monday. So typically I'm not staying up for the family call, but I listen to it. It is hard to share power hours when you never get in the Road to VIP or the VIP training page that I run to see when the power hours are. It's hard to share Zooms that you've been listening to if you never get on a Zoom or if you never watch Zooms because all you do is watch Netflix all day. So always be learning. It's hard to share stuff that God gives you from a book if you're never picking up the dang book. So part of duplication is just your team seeing that you are leading yourself and you're constantly growing, because rarely will your team outgrow you. Now, Chelsea, Mandy, and I outgrew our leader, but she stopped growing. So if your leader quits, yeah, you can outgrow them. But if your leader is hustling, like probably I'm never going to outgrow April unless she quits learning, because she's years ahead of me when it comes to personal development. Now, if she quits, I can absolutely outgrow her. So your team is probably not going to outgrow you as long as you're in this business, because even if you quit growing, if you're still showing up halfway, they think what you're doing is normal, and that's as much as they're ever going to do. So I think it's a blessing sometimes when leaders quit who are not really leading anymore, because it kind of gives their team someone else to look up to. I know for me, when my leader quit, it just lit a fire of like, well, first off, I was like, well, you've been lazy for like a year. So I already the wool was already pulled from my eyes. But then I was like, okay, what you were doing wasn't normal. It wasn't what got you successful in this business. Like, things got you successful that were outside of your control. So I'm going to take the power back and I'm going to make myself successful. Yeah, it was definitely a blessing. And then, okay, so leading from the front is probably one of the hard things because there's not like a blueprint, right? You just do all the things. Now, one thing that you can control a blueprint for is not giving up on the distributors that you enroll. I check in with my distributors every single month, regardless if they've worked or not, for an entire year. Now, I don't check in saying, are you ready to work? Did you watch the training? Like, once they've stopped doing that, but you never know who's going to jump back in, because I was one of those people, and start working before their account expires. So what I do is, like, for example, I sat down the beginning of the month, and I have a whole video on this, so I'm going to link it in here when I get done. I'm not going to explain it quite in detail because I've already said it, and I'm definitely a believer in recording things on purpose so you're not repeating things and wasting your time or the people that were on the first one. But I sit down the beginning of the month and I schedule out when I'm going to check in with my with all of my distributors and my customers. So for example, on my Monday, I'm going to check in with all my July customers and July distributors. So everyone that I enrolled in July. Tuesday, all the people in June. Wednesday, all the people in May. So I don't do them all in one day. I set it out the beginning of the month, schedule out my entire month. And there's 12 months in a year, guys. So that's only 12 days that you've got to check in with people. And when I say check in, I literally like and comment on 3 to 5 posts. Like, I'm showing interest in their life. I'm not checking in about the business. Now, this gets them seeing my business. I can't tell you how many old distributors end up posting a post for me and it blows up because it just pops up in their algorithm, like my giveaway posts, because I've been talking to them. I had one today. She's thinking about jumping back in the business. Her hair post got 10 freaking comments on it. She's never even opened the first training. I was like, girl, you're already a distributor. Like, this is literally what you'd be doing. Are you sure you don't want to talk to these people? Like, I'll even help you. So you just never know. And then I do message them also. Like, I like and comment 3 to 5 of their posts, and then I send them a message. Either I screenshot one of their posts that I want to talk about, or I'll go to their stories if they have stories, and maybe I'll comment on something on their stories. But I always try to make it relatable and end with a question. You can't always do this. Sometimes you're going to go to one of your customers or distributors' pages, and it's a bunch of negative crap. There's nothing to comment on. Like, there's not much I can tell you. I've been there, done that. It's just, that's it. But like, one of them, she posted a meme and it said something about keeping it classy, like learning to keep your mouth shut or something. And I literally screenshotted it and sent to her. I was like, dude, me and my husband talk about this all the time. Because I'm like right in the middle of classy and trashy. Like, if you're talking about me, I can keep my mouth shut. You start talking about my husband or my kid, and like my ghetto starts to come out. And we just laughed and had like a little conversation. Guys, she has not ordered in like 3 months. She saw my coffee post today and she's wanting to know about the coffee. Just because it popped up in her algorithm, because we had a conversation last week about some stupid meme on her page, which I say stupid. I thought it was funny, but it's kind of dumb. Now, again, I have a whole video on this, so I will link the video as well, but I also send birthday cards. Basically what I do is, okay, back up just a minute. When I'm interacting for that whole year, I do take them off of my list. If they didn't like the product, they had a bad experience, like they were just nasty to me, because you're going to get people like that. I had a distributor that was with me for like 6 months, never did anything. And then this was a long time ago, by the way. So if you're on this, I guarantee it's not you. 6 months in, she decided she was going to work. We worked for a little bit. She completed like 2 steps of training, ghosted me again. A year in, she renewed her account. She also signed her husband up to start trying to work with his account, even though I kind of told her not to because she wasn't working her own, but she wanted to get the extra products. It was like one of the $20 deals. So I was like, okay. And 6 months later, she had joined with someone else and then trashed me all over Facebook that I was a bad enroller and did not give her any training. And Savannah remembers this. She was an account active still. So she couldn't sign with her social. She couldn't sign with her husband's. She took her son's social and signed up because the other leader told her to. And I was like, so I would take her off the list. Like I'm never checking in with her again. I don't want a person that is going to be that dishonest on my team anyways. I've had customers that had allergic reactions or just didn't like the product and were kind of mad about it. Not everything works for everybody, guys. No, but if you're negative to me about it, like I'm not wasting my time building that relationship with you for an entire year. So allow yourself, give yourself permission to take people off your list if they have a legitimate bad experience. But if it's just they're not reacting much or like one word answers or whatever, like don't give up on them. Now with the, okay, so when a customer signs, again, this is specifically customers. When a customer signs, and before I show you all this, I'm not telling you to go spend money. You can literally go to the dollar store and you can get, I don't know, 10 or 20 thank you cards for $1. Okay, I'm not telling you to go spend money. I've been doing this for almost 6 years. I take this as a complete business. Like I have leveled up my customer service so much in the last year, it's not even funny. So make this like your goal to get to when you're making a decent amount of money. I send them a thank you card as soon as they enroll. This is my thank you card. It has our pictures on it. It says thank you. And it just literally says, thanks so much for your order. Here's our loyalty card. Let me know when you receive it. And then our loyalty card literally is this. It says thank you and it has hole punches on it. And we have like a whole little customer program that we do with our customers. And then on their birthday, I send them a birthday card and it's just a generic from the dollar store birthday card. Yeah. So I had some printed for my team and gave them away as giveaways, loyalty cards. And then with the birthday card, I send this. It has our picture on it. And it literally says, happy birthday. Use this card to get 20% off of any one-time order. Contact Tanya or Brett to redeem. Now the 20% off is the company thing. I'm not spending any money to do this. But it's letting them know. And the reason I started printing these up is because I was writing all of this. Guys, there are months I signed 30, 40, 50 customers. So yeah, it's just vistaprints.com. I don't know if they go to Canada or not, because I know or Australia either, because I know there's other people on here. But chances are your country has something like that. It's literally vistaprint.com. I paid for the thank you cards. I want to say I paid $60 for like 500 of them. And for the loyalty cards, I paid $20 for 500 of them. So they're not expensive at all. And I'm going to do the same thing for Thanksgiving. I'm getting things. Okay, you could do Christmas. I'm going to do Thanksgiving because everyone and their mom gets a Christmas card and they just, oh, cool, toss it aside because everyone gets a bunch of them. So I'm doing Thanksgiving cards because it'll be before all the masses send out all their cards. And it's going to have another little, it'll be a Thanksgiving card similar to the thank you card with our pictures and stuff on it. Same thing. I'm just getting it printed at vistaprint.com. Oh, you know what? Just kidding. These were printed at Walmart. I know because it says Walmart on the back. These were Vistaprint for sure, though. I think what I did is I went to Vistaprint to print these, and they were going to be like 4 times more expensive than the ones at Walmart. So I just did Walmart. But I'm going to have a little card like this. I haven't printed it yet, but with the Thanksgiving cards, it's literally going to say, use this card to get a free sample pack with your next one-time order. I'm only sending that to the people who are not on auto ship. In other words, it's just a way to get them to come back. And those will be samples I send out personally. And I'll probably send like a energy, a coffee, and something else. But it's only because they put in another order for something or restarted their auto ship. Actually, I might have some leeway with that. I haven't decided yet. It'll be my first year doing that. So I'm always trying to get better ones. We don't have a Kmart. So she said you could do it at Kmart. All of our Kmarts here have been shut down. So no Kmart, unfortunately. And so, like I said, do not feel pressured like a brand new person to go do all of that. Now, if you know that guy's not here, I told them they couldn't play in our yard right now because I was on a Zoom. It had to be their yard. And they're all trying to come up in here right now. If you're brand new, but you're like, this is going to be my business long term, I'm going to do this. Again, guys, to get the thank you cards and both loyalty cards, it's going to cost you about $100. And that's going to last you for 500 customers. So you do the math. Unless you are just really hitting it hard your first couple of months, that's going to last you for a little while. So if you want to do it, I'm not saying don't do it. If you're going to treat this as a business and you financially can afford to invest $100 in the business, go for it. But if you're like, I don't have $100, guys, go to the dollar store, get some dollar store thank you cards and handwrite what you want to write in them. You don't have to do it the way that I'm doing it. Like I said, the reason I get them printed off is because I have so many customers that it was taking hours to send out thank you cards. And not even one year I did do Christmas cards and it took me an entire freaking day. I'm never doing that again. Even for the thank you cards, I'm paying someone else, or not the thank you cards, the Thanksgiving cards, I'm paying someone else to do it. I'm not doing it because my time is more valuable than doing all of that right now. When I was new though, you better believe I did all of it handwritten. You know, I wasn't making 50 cents an hour yet. So I was not paying someone to do that. Now I've averaged it out. I make between $35 and $50 an hour with this business. So you better believe I don't mind paying some teenager to come over and $10 an hour to stamp out and address and whatever, all of the cards. I still do my own thank you cards because I let Glory help me and sometimes I'll throw her a couple dollars. And I still do my own birthday cards because they're broken up, right? I do there's 10 or 15 birthday cards I send out each month. And I do birthday cards for distributors as well, not just customers. And same with Thanksgiving cards. I'll send those for distributors as well. It's just another way to love on your team. But when it comes to the Thanksgiving cards, or if you choose to do Christmas cards, you're going to have so many at once that it is going to take you a long time. If you are high enough in the business that you are making a decent amount of money and you can throw some teenager, $30, $40 to do it, it's well worth your time because it's going to eat up a lot of time that you could be working instead. So that's all I have for retention. I do have 2 videos I'll link down here that you guys can watch if you want a little bit more in-depth look on how I plan that out. And then I'm going to give you a real quick tip on how to make the most out of your stories. What time is it? Okay, I was trying to keep it at 20 minutes. It's going to be almost 30, but that's okay. I'm going to share my screen real quick as I'm talking, just for sake of time. Holy crap, guys. I have not done this in way too long. I don't share my screen much, apparently. Or because it's changed. Okay. All right, can y'all still hear me? Someone want to unmute and say yes?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, so with the stories, what you want to do is, I'm pulling one up here, is you want to, share a poll about some struggle that you're having that your product can, or the business, but I've been doing the product one so far, that your product will basically help eliminate. 2, you want to tell a story, a negative story, a personal story to you, which I'm going to show you about why you started the product. 3, a positive solution because of the product. 4, an unboxing. So you're basically showing the product, but again, The way I do it is you show it without showing the brand because you want them to come to you, not Google. And then you give a call to action. So 5 different things. And the whole process should take you 60 seconds or less. So I'm going to show you the one I did today about coffee, and then I'll show you the one I did a few days ago about the energy sticks. So bear with me. Let me find it, and then I'll just let it play. Okay, so this was my poll. So number 1's a poll. Ever feel like you want to eat all the time and all the indulgent foods? I don't say bad foods, guys. I'm a firm believer if you have a healthy relationship with food, there's no such thing as bad and good food. But there are things as indulgent foods that you shouldn't be eating all the time. So the answers were yes and a pizza thing, and then the other answer was no, and it just had like a picture of a salad. So then I'm telling my story, and guys, you want to make this stand out and look negative. So I'll just let it play and you'll see what I'm talking about. This clearly is not a positive thing.
So this was me all the time. I felt like I was starving constantly, so I was always eating, and then I was gaining weight, and then I was starving, and then I was eating, and it was just a vicious cycle.
So that's my negative story. And then the positive spin on it is then I found this delicious breakfast latte.
There's always a reason to always choose joy. There's something deeper that the world can't destroy.
And then the next slide says something about losing 27 pounds on it, because so far since January I've lost 27 pounds of coffee, which I'm pretty excited about.
Smile when you think you can't. Smile, get up and dance. Smile, there's a big plan. The storm only lasts for a while, so smile. Happiness is wonderful, but it doesn't.
And then the last one is again the story, because I just did the unboxing. So remember, a poll, tell the story, start negative, then go to positive. We're talking about the solution. Then I did the unboxing, and now I'm giving a call to action.
I love that I don't feel like I'm starving anymore, and actually I usually have to remind myself to eat at a certain time because I'm just not hungry that much. And then I've even been able to use this to intermittent fast to curb some of my PCOS symptoms, which is a huge plus as well. I'm sending out 3-day trial packs. If you want one, swipe up and just comment Magic Coffee.
So I had 3 people already message me from Instagram and Facebook, both for that one. And then the last one I'm going to show you, I've only done the 2, like I said, is one that I did 3 or 4 days ago about the energy sticks. Let me just scroll here and find it real quick. No. There we go. Okay, so same thing. Number 1 is the poll. Do you ever feel like you hit a wall around 2-3 p.m. like all your energy is zapped? Because remember, you're talking about whatever it is that your product can fix. Then I gave my negative story, and I always make some kind of funny like filter or just something to, again, make it look silly and stupid and negative.
Okay, this is cute. But this would happen every single day to me, and it sucked. Like, I would get up on time, I would work out, I would eat clean, I would do our homeschooling, do everything I needed to do. And then by 2-3 o'clock, like when it was time to clean and make dinner and just get ready for my husband to come home, I would crash. Like, I would be so tired, no rhyme or reason, and I would just want to go take a nap. And yeah, it completely sucked.
And then this is the one that I talk about, like how that all changed. So the positive spin.
Okay, this is a cute filter. So a couple of years ago, I found what we call Super Mom sticks, and it kind of changed the game for me. They are B12 and B6, but I take one between 1 and 3 every day, and it gives me all the energy. So after we're done schooling, I am not tired anymore. I have time to sit or not sit, but I have time to do all my cleaning. I prepare dinner for my husband, and then there's also no crash. I go to bed and I sleep sound like a baby, so I absolutely love
Here's
them.
the unboxing showing what the product actually is. And then the next screen is the call to action. Sending out 5 trial packs. Swipe up and comment Supermom if you want to try it. So let's see. How do I get back real quick? So I actually learned this from Jessica Higdon, and it was just her 5-step, way to basically get more sales from your stories. And so I was a little reluctant because I already use stories. I was like, okay, stories never work that well for me. I use them because you're supposed to, but they don't work that well for me. And so, but I'm a firm believer that you be teachable, and if someone says to do something, you at least try it. So I decided, why not revamp my stories a little bit, and I was very pleasantly surprised. So I'm excited. I haven't done a business one yet, but I'm going to. But yeah, I've had really good success with the energy and the coffee. So that is all. I went a little longer than I had planned to, so sorry. But I'm gonna pass it on to Mandy. And I know she's gonna share some retention tips, and then I think probably something else as well, because we always go off of each other a little bit also.
Hello. Yeah, I'm not at the beach right now, but I wish I was. So I just took dot points as well, and I'm going to talk a little bit about customers, about samples, and about distributors. So with thank you cards as well, we do have Vistaprint in Australia, but I haven't tried the Kmart option like Rachel said, but I think that that's a good idea, because I have these that I send out with that I send out with my sample packs, and I write them like that just says, like, it's a picture of me and just says thanks for your order, and then it's given my website down the side as well. And then I normally write on the back, and I try and write to them and just say, you know, instead of just saying, hey, thanks for your order, I try and talk to them. So I've built that relationship with them as well, which is going to in turn keep that retention. I've sold a couple of sample packs to people that have lost family members. They've just had crazy times. They're in a state, because Australia's like hasn't got half the cases that America does, but that everyone's losing their mind. Just telling them I hope that they're safe and they're okay and their mental health is good. And then I always follow up with my samples as well, which is obviously going to have that retention. So whether they like something or they don't like something, or I have like a lot of people that when they order a sample pack, they either become a customer or they become a distributor, or I keep building that relationship with them anyway, because I was just reading something in Jay Shetty's book today about relationships, and I haven't finished that chapter, but he was saying about the 4 levels of trust. And people are going to buy from you because they know, like, and trust you. They're going to keep coming back. They're going to keep talking to you. They're going to keep building that relationship with you because they trust you. And then the Connect app. So if you guys don't, well, I'm sure you all have the Connect app. I think that this is the biggest blessing, because I used to have customers that sign up for a month. I didn't explain the lower customer program to them properly. They'd get crabby with me because I had to pay their $70 membership fee, or they'd only do their 3 months and that was the end of it. So the Connect app has been a massive game changer for me when it comes to keeping customers and keeping them long term. It's really simple to use. I'm not going to go completely into it, how to use the Connect app right now, but there's prompts. So you should be checking that every single day. It prompts you to message them as soon as they've ordered. Another thing that I do as soon as they order is I have a group on Facebook for all of my customers, and it's open for all of my team as well. And I just post in there like my own personal results. I encourage my customers to share their results when they get products, when there's new products come out, new promotions. I every now and again will go and upload with the gold status, people that have become onto the gold status program, which, like Tonya was saying, she gives those little extra promo codes with promo cards or whatever, which is something that the company already does for us. I freaking love that idea, by the way. I want to be able to do that more. So I use the Connect app for that. I don't really use it for my distributors. I just mainly use it for my customers to let them know that a new product's coming. And I have had people say to me, like, yeah, I don't like this product. I had a girl message me the other day and she said, I can't handle the coffee, Mandy. Like, I'm really sorry. I've tried it 400 different ways and I just don't like it. But because I've kept that relationship with her, she's like, you know, I'm not angry. Like, can I switch my product to something else, which they always can do. You guys should know that they can change their product every month. They can change the date of it running from the 1st to the 25th to accord with their payday. So I always try and keep that like rapport with them, because they're going to keep coming back and ordering. I have a lady who I believe she's been with me for like a year, and she just places one-time orders every now and again. And she did a hoster post for me, and one girl that commented on that placed like a $300 order because she ordered coffee and TFX for her and her husband. So like Tonya was saying, like, even though customers aren't ordering, that I have an active like auto shipment running right now, keep interacting with them, keep talking to them. You might get them to do a hoster post, and you're getting them to host a post about a product that they don't even realize that you have, that they might place a one-time order for it, or they might start their auto shipment again. I created this message. I don't have boards on my phone, so Bianca, I might get you to do it. But I was sending this to all of my current loyal customers. Now, obviously, yeah, Bianca, if you don't mind putting that in the chat for me, it was just to get API orders, so like one-time orders. And obviously, when you're keeping that rapport with people anyway, that some people will say yes, some people will say no. The message basically just says, thanks for your support over the past year. I've put a little bit of my story that just says it's people like you that allow my dream of traveling Australia to come true. I'm placing one-time orders this month. Now, this, obviously, whatever country you're in, you can change it for whatever product you want. I'm just doing it for fat fighters because we don't have energy or anything like that here in Australia, but it just says I'm placing one-time orders this month for our carb blocker, and because you're already a customer, it's only $68. Can I put an order in for you too? I did have one girl place the order, but I also just like will go ahead into my customer page sometimes and just say, you know, thank you so much for all of you guys' support, because it means that so many of us can travel, we can stay home with our babies, we can put our kids in, you know, dance, we can do this or we can do that, we can put food and fuel like in our cars, whatever. Just letting them know that they're appreciated. I think that that's a big thing, because sometimes I've done this before, I'm guilty of it. I'm like, yeah, I want to get all of these customers. And I'm like, cool, I just signed like 50 customers, but I didn't bother to keep in touch with them. And then 3 months later, they're canceling their auto shipments and all your volumes are gone down. And you're like, well, what happened? It's because you didn't keep in touch with them. I make sure that I send happy birthdays every single day to anyone on my Facebook. I interact on their page. I just build that relationship with them. And so that's really, really key when it comes to your team and your customers, because they're going to refer you. We're in a word of mouth business, and this is kind of off track, but I sold a sample pack of coffee the other day and I was away. I came back, told this girl, I was like, I'm going to mail it off on Monday. And I came home and I ran out of coffee and I was like, shit. So I went back to her and another girl and I said, look, I'm really sorry. I actually don't have any coffee for even myself. I'll let you know as soon as it's in and I'll send it out. And she was a little bit not very happy, which is fine. I understand that. And turns out she'd spent like $350 in a Sensi order with a distributor, and she, like 4 months later, she still hasn't got her money back and she hasn't got her product. She hasn't got her product, sorry. And so I totally understand where she was coming from, but don't be afraid to tell people that, hey, like, I'm really sorry, I messed up. Hey, I don't actually have that product. It should be here by the end of the week and I'll mail it out. Or, you know, like, I'm sorry, but the website's down or whatever. Like, being honest with your whole Facebook, your customers and your team, because if you try to, put on this big persona that this is kind of flipping to distributors, but like Tonya was saying about having that self-care and like, you're not putting it in a negative light that, hey, I'm having a bad day, but saying to your team, like, I'm having a day, I'm going to go and read a book or take a walk or whatever it is that helps you to rejuvenate again. Do that. And don't be afraid to share that and share it everywhere, because people need to know that we're not some magical unicorns, that our life sunshines and rainbows and we don't have bad things happen, or our kids never get sick, or we never have, bad days, because that's just pretend, like, it's not real. So yeah, I just try and like really build. I am such a blue. If you guys don't know me, you can't tell, but I'm so blue. And I love building relationships with people. I have people all over Australia that when I travel have said, please come to my house. Like, I had a lady the other day comment to my post. She's like, I'm gonna cook you a roast when you come visit. I've never met this woman in my life. She doesn't order products with me and she's not on my team, but she may be down the track. What else did I have here? Oh, power hours, being resourceful. That's another thing. Like, when it comes to like duplicating and stuff and leading from the front, like Tonya was saying, you can't say to people, get on Zooms if you're not getting on them. You can't share something from a book if you're not picking up the book or listening to the podcast or whatever it is that you're doing. And when it comes to duplication with your team, I am not going to give, like, you don't want to be giving everyone everything. Point them in the right direction, because then when you're off or something tragic happens and you're in the hospital or you're driving, I'm about to be, well, fingers crossed I can, driving for like 3,500 kilometers, like 8 hours a day. If I give my whole team every single thing that they possibly need, when I'm not there, they're going to be like, well, crap, what do I do? How do I reply to this? What do I say to this? How do I find this? So it's all about being resourceful. Am I going to tell them I'm not going to help them? No, but I'm going to say, hey, go on to eSuite, click reports, click here and find this. Do you know what I mean? So it's just pointing them in the right direction. It's the like, because otherwise they're going to rely on you forever, and you'll feel like you can't have a day off, or you can't rest, or you should be replying straight away. When it comes to leading from the front as well, I'm talking about like getting on power hours. Like you can't tell your team to get on a power hour or read a book or do the KPI checklist or whatever if you're not doing it yourself. And then this took me a long time to realize, because I was like, why isn't these people doing this? And I'm like, well, Mandy, like you're not doing it. How can you expect somebody else, like people on your team, to do the same thing? And like Tonya was saying, like chances are your team won't outgrow you unless you stop. And there's no way that I'm stopping, but yeah, I think that's kind of all I had to say anyways. But building that relationships are so important to keep that, longevity of customers ordering, the longevity of distributors staying, and keeping on working, finding out those people's whys and stuff like that. I think just relationships are really important anyways.
No, I love that. If you and Mandy, or if you and Chelsea don't mind posting your Instagrams in the chat, I always forget to say this, but y'all tag us in whatever aha moments you have. We love to see your feedback from this so we know what we're doing right and what we need to improve on. And I love that you talked about relationships, because I feel like you being a blue and a yellow, you have a little advantage to that, because I'm a red. So I'm like, oh, I signed you up. Okay, next. Like, don't care. I already got you. And I know that's not a good thing, because we like our backbone of our business is customers. So if everybody is canceling after 3 months, we're not doing our jobs. Like part of our job is customer service. And it took me 4 years to understand that, because I'm not a yellow. I'm not a blue. I'm like, okay, well, the customers or the company sends them emails. I don't have to do anything. Guys, they didn't order from the company. They ordered from you. And that's what I had to remind myself. Like they could order from so many different networks distributors. They could just go online and order from networks. Like they're doing it to support you and support your family and support your business just as much as they're doing it because it's a specific product. And I love your little thing that you send them for the API orders of the little bit about your story and just like, you're the reason I can do X, Y, Z, because it really puts that emotion in there of like, this is why I'm ordering the coffee from you. This is why if I have any desire to try whatever product you're talking to me about, I'm going to order it from you and not just try to, go order it online or see if I can get a better deal somewhere else. So, which they can't. We all have it for the same price. But as a consumer, that's your first thought is, can I get it cheaper somewhere else? That's just what we're like programmed. But if I'm talking to a friend and I feel like they've had that real relationship with me, I don't care if I can get it cheaper somewhere else, because I want to buy it from them to support them. So I love that. And I love that I think all three of us, we're very good about building relationships on the back end. Like we don't spend, oh, they're laughing, not crying. They're on the trampoline. We don't waste a lot of time building fake relationships in hopes of getting a sale. Once we get the sales and once they sign up as distributors, whichever one they pick, then we spend all the time building relationships and like genuinely getting to care about them as a person, so they know that they're not just another number to us. So I really like the building relationships. Like I feel like we almost do it backwards to some people that preach to like build relationships in hopes of getting a sale. We do it because we actually like are trying to like the person and make them feel like they're more than just a sale to us. So I like that part of this business.
The other thing I was going to say really quickly too is I started a Facebook group. If you guys were on April's training a couple of weeks ago, she said she started a Facebook group. She had her Facebook group purely for potential distributors. I have mine for both. And so if anyone in there places an order, becomes a loyal customer or they order a sample, I shout them out. So I had a girl that bought a sample pack of coffee and I said, thank you. And I tagged her and I said, that's half a tank of fuel for my van. And I said and then when somebody else signed up as a customer, I just said same thing. Thank you so much, Amy, for your order. It's people like you that help, make my dreams come true. Or, you know, you might sell a sample pack of whatever product it is. And if they're in that group, because then they feel like they're, you know, like they're a part of something. Oh, wow. Like, you know, might be you were able to, I don't know, take your spouse out on a date night or take your kid to get ice cream or whatever. But like, that's a real yellow coming out in me. But people like want to feel like they're part of something.
Oh, no, I love that. I have a Facebook group as well. I actually had it before April started talking about it because Jade Hooper talks about it. But I've never done that. So I'm going to start doing that and shouting them out and putting, like, again, the emotional attachment to whatever product they just bought. I like that a lot. And if you haven't started a Facebook group yet, they work, guys. I would start one. If you're in my downline, actually anyone in the company, mine is not personal. Mine is like, has like 500 people in it that are just from anywhere. So if you're in my downline or you're in another downline and you don't have an enroller that has one, we use ours to get like team sales and stuff as well. So you have options. Like, it doesn't have to be a personal one. You can join one that's already made if you don't want to do the work, or you can start one for your team and like have it be a team-wide one as well. I don't know what my husband's doing. He came out to check on the kid, I guess. Let me check the chat real quick. And then Chelsea, you want to take us home with this?
Yeah, sure. I'm actually going to touch base on something that you said before Mandy had spoke this last time. I love everything I'm learning right now. It's crazy because, like Tanya said, she has a red personality. I do too. So like, I was the same exact way where when I first started, it was like a sign you up and gotcha. You know, it was like a game for me. It was the thrill of the hunt. I just love it. Right.
Yes.
It's the adrenaline rush. And so once I get it, it's like, oh my gosh, on to the next one. That's literally what it was. And so I've been like slowly learning customer retention the past 3 years of my business. And so it's crazy because when I first started this business too, and I want to touch base on this, when I first started my business, my enroller, quit just like the rest of us. Like, our enrollers just out, whatever. She actually like literally would sit there and preach to me about how I need to build relationships before I sign people. And this was crazy to me because if she would have, like, let's just say she continued to go on with her business and continued to try teaching me that same exact way, I would not be here right now. I'm a super red personality. I'm also more introverted than extroverted, which means that I am more shied off. I know it's crazy. I go live all the time. I'm on my stories all the time. I'm super loud on Zooms most of the time. But if you know me in person, you know that I'm very socially awkward. Okay. So the whole building relationship thing was very, very hard for me at first. And so I spent the first 4 months of my business trying to build relationships, and I got nowheres with it, you know? And so I had to kind of shift my thinking when she quit from building relationships before they get in to building relationships on the backside, like Tanya said. So once they come in, I start building relationships with my loyal customers. I do a lot of the very similar things that Tanya and Mandy do. The only things that I picked up on, which I'm so thankful you guys said, was the thank you cards and like getting really personal with birthday cards and stuff. I think that's an amazing idea. So I'm going to start doing that. And that's what I love about this business and getting on these Zooms is you're going to learn things that you never knew before. And it's your decision what you want to take and trial and error or whatever. And you get to choose that. So I'm going to choose to try to start doing those. So I hope you guys got that from this Zoom too. But I really was going to talk about distributors more than loyal customers today because I love signing distributors. I love building relationships with other women who want to make money. I have a lot of girls on my team who are like family to me, and they mean something to me. And it's not just the business for me anymore. And it was when I first started, but I've started to learn, like Tanya said, she learned how to build a relationship in this business. I did too. And so these, you know, I want to kind of go over where I start at with my distributors. And I'm just going to go down bullet points because I know we've only got a couple of minutes left. So I actually work on getting people or new distributors. I sign them.
Before you go, don't feel like you have to rush. We didn't start till 7:10. We have till at least 8:10, 8:30 if you want to go. So
make it on the next Zoom. That's why I was like, oh my gosh.
Just kidding. I forgot about that. Yes. I'm awful. Never mind. You go.
That's all right. I'll keep going. It's all right. I've only got like a few bullet points anyways. So
I forget that it was rescheduled because I'm used to it being on Sunday and ours being on Monday.
yeah, it threw me off really, really bad too. So I think it threw off my entire team when we saw that. So, okay. So when I get someone started on my team, face-to-face is very important. Guys, you just heard it from my mouth that I am more of a shy person. So this is scary to me, but I do it anyways because I know that the relationship is going to be built by me getting face-to-face and just talking to this person like I'm their best friend, right? So I actually build a relationship with my distributor face-to-face, like within the first 72 hours. And I literally get on for 15 minutes to an hour, however long I have for time, I get on. So if you've only got 5 minutes of time, say, hey, do you want to get on video for 5 minutes, right? So I get on video with them. And one of the first things that I talk to them about is their reason why they're here in the first place. I want to know their background story. I want to know why they're here. Why do they want to make money? I want to know how really embedded in this business they are into making money. They are right from the start. And then from there, that's when I start coaching them on personal development. So I get them to know their why and their reason why they're here. And then I explain to them that if you succeed in this business, it's because you did it. And if you fail or you quit, right, it's because you did it. So I want you to know that I'm just the middleman. I'm like the bridge. I'm like the person who's going to stand there, and I've already done it first. So I'm going to guide you in the right direction. And it's your decision to keep getting up and showing up every single day. I make that very, very clear to my new distributors. And I never used to, but I'm telling you, it was a game changer when I started being upfront and honest and to the point right from the start. So I get started and I tell them right from the start too, that like 80% of our business is mindset and only 20% of it is the actual skill part. Okay. Yes, we do, work on social media. Yes, we do get to choose our schedule, but when it comes down to it, your business is not going to grow to an ambassador diamond level when your mindset is still that of a distributor. Okay. We all come in at distributor level. So we have to grow and we have to guide them. We have to teach them how to grow in those notches. So I get them started right off the bat, just educating themselves on personal development and then the industry in general, because a lot of people come in and they have no idea what network marketing is, or they have no idea what the structure is. They have no idea. I'm on Zoom. I'm like literally coaching. Sorry, guys. This is life. Okay. So my whole family and the dogs were about to walk in. I'm not going to lie. Okay. So anyways, I get them on the Zoom and I just talk to them about their why. And then I talk about personal development. I get them started at being educated on the actual industry. And how I do this is I get them to read books on it. And so the first book that I get them started with is Your First Year of Network Marketing. And if they can't buy the book, because I know when I came in, guys, I was broke as a joke when I came into this business. We were scraping the bottom of the barrel, like $500 in the negative in 2 different accounts, losing our house. It was wild. Okay. I had no money to buy a book. And I didn't realize the value in buying the book in general. And so it would have been a blessing if someone would have showed me something like this, right? So I take the initiative to show them how they can get free resources on finding books. Guys, you can find these books on YouTube. If you type them in, you can find them on YouTube. I think there's a couple of different apps that you can get on Audible. Or you can get like on audio or whatever. And I think they give you like your first book free. That's how I got to, Tanya said, yeah. So I'm guessing there's a couple of them out there and your upline can show you where to find these and stuff. I know that normally I'm just super resourceful. If I want to find a free book, I'm just going to go find it. Okay. So I just show my team how to do that same exact thing. So I lay it down for them. And I tell them, point blank exactly how it works with, they have to show up. They have to be willing to show up, but I'm the one who's going to show them how to get from point A to point B. I'm going to give them the system to get there. Okay. And then I always ask them, how do you see this going? And this is how I kind of get into my like their reason why they're here in the first place, I ask them, how would you see this going? Like, how do you want to see this go? And then they usually tell me a little bit about their life. They'll tell me a little bit about their background. They'll tell me a little bit about, the reason why they're here and what their day is going to be laid out like. And that kind of gives me an idea on when I can work with them one-on-one. It also gives me an idea on how I can teach them time management, because 9 times out of 10, that's what they're going to, have trouble with when they first get started is, where do I fit this business in? And we've already done it, right? We know how to, work our business and wean it into our day. We know that if we've got 10 minutes, what are we going to be prioritizing? You get to teach other people how to do that same exact thing, because not everybody's going to know that when they first come in. A lot of people, when they first come in, they're not going to have a clue how to run a business. So it's your job as a leader to teach them that. With personal development, the biggest reason why I get them started with this, and I send them podcasts, like I feed this to them for the first week and I show them their resources on personal development, where they can find it. Every single time that there's a Zoom call that they hop on, I talk to them about the books that are on there or the books that I'm reading, or, just things like that, so that they know where they can find those and they know how they can get a hold of them. And you really think about it. Like I think about my mindset when I first came in here. There's no way I would be running this business right now in the same mindset that I was. I had a microwave mindset, guys, which means I needed like instant gratification. I needed to, if I did something, I had to get paid for it right off the bat, or I was not sticking around. I was, just hungry for it. And if someone would have educated me back then, I probably would have pushed a little bit harder when I first got started. So I usually bring them in and I'm very honest. I'm very upfront. I like to get to know them, and I just get to know exactly who they are, because just like Mandy said, with loyal customers, relationships is everything. And same with your distributors, relationships is everything. And a lot of the times people will stay working in this business with you because of the relationship that you've built with them, more than they will because of the actual company, right? Or their reason why. And so it's so important that you guide them the way to know why they're here in the first place, because some people don't even know why they're here in the first place. They just want to make that money. Well, why? Right? They have to figure that out, and they don't know how to ask questions like that to themselves. So you have to be the one to pry, and you have to be the one to ask and guide them through that process of figuring out what they really want in their life. And through that, you can build relationships and stuff like that. So I'm going to keep that really short. Lead from the front. I do the same exact thing. Like Tanya said, I go in, I do messaging sprees with my team. I'm constantly saying, who wants to do one today? And we go and do them together. We set a timer together and we go for it. So I share my conversations I'm having and all that good stuff.
I love that. And I love that you lead with personal development, because you said you're going to start implementing like thank you cards and stuff for customers. I do not do near as much personal development with my newbies. I tell them some books to read, and that's about it. Like I don't follow up with them. I don't send them links to things to watch. So I'm definitely going to start implementing that, because 3 and 4 months down the road, it shows when they're coming to me with certain things. And I'm like, have you not read any of that book? But I never checked in on them. So that's my fault. So we're going to let.
Sorry. If you do start noticing within the, like you said, 3-4 month span, they should start showing a change by then. If they're not, you can tell right there if they're listening to you or not, or if they're implementing things that you're showing them or not. And same with if they are doing it, you're going to be able to tell, because they're going to be killing it.
I love that. I'm definitely going to start being more intentional with that. I'm really good about sharing the technical stuff. Here's how to host a post. Here's how to message. Like I'm a green, so I'm good at that. But I have not been as good with the personal development stuff. Which I should be, because that's like the most important part of this business. I don't care if you know how to host a post if your head's in the gutter all the time. Last thing I want to add in there with what you said with the apps, there's an app called Hoopla, Hoopla, that's ran by public libraries that gives you all the free audibles that you want to listen to. Now, it doesn't always have like the newest and best, but it's free and you can at least get a start on like listening to certain things. And then just your local library in general, if you go online to their site, you can call and ask them. They usually have audiobooks also. They're just not really like wide known, because I don't think it's a thing people really do a lot unless they're in a business like this. but they have a ton of audiobooks that you can listen to just by, you check them out on your library card. So they're completely free. They're just through your library. So those are 2 resources I would recommend anyone who's not wanting to spend money. I get it. I couldn't buy books in the beginning either. Go to the free resources. So we're going to get off here just because there is another Zoom that I totally forgot about. And I apologize to both of you guys for cutting y'all off and talking longer than I should have, because I'm so used to not having an ending time to these. I didn't even think about it, or I would have saved some of that for next week. So we will see everybody here next week. And I'll drop in my training team chat. I'm sure you guys will also for the next Zoom that's on right now. Bye, guys.